Ladies and gentlemen, good morning/afternoon/evening. Let me begin with a simple truth. You were never designed to be average. There is no mediocrity in the fingerprints of your Creator. Every single person under the sound of my voice was born with potential, not for survival, but for significance. Today, I want to talk to you about something that separates leaders from followers, victors from victims, history, makers from statistics. That something is excellence, and I urge you, don't settle for less. Strive for excellence. There is no greater tragedy in life than a person who passes through the earth never knowing why they were born. A tree knows why it grows, a bird knows why it sings, even a river knows where it's flowing. Yet millions of people live day to day with no clear idea of who they are, why they are here, or what they are meant to do. They wake up to alarms, rush into routines, check off tasks, and lie down in exhaustion, repeating the same cycle again and again, without ever asking the one question that changes everything. What is my purpose? You see, purpose is not something we create. It is something we discover. Just like a manufacturer never builds a product before deciding its use, so your existence was preceded by intent. Purpose is the original reason for your creation. You were designed for a specific assignment, crafted with precision, shaped with intent, and gifted with something the world needs. Your value is not in your appearance, your education, or your background. Your value is in your contribution, what you were sent to deliver to your generation. Many people settle for less because they never discovered the more they were meant for. They live on the surface when they were built for depth. They adjust their dreams to fit their reality, rather than stretching their reality to meet their purpose. They confuse busyness with effectiveness, but let me tell you, activity is not the same as productivity. Running hard in the wrong direction still leaves you lost. Purpose gives your life direction. It defines the lane you are supposed to run in. When you know your purpose, you stop competing with others and start completing your own assignment. Have you ever wondered why dissatisfaction follows you, even when things seem to be going well? That's the whisper of purpose. It won't let you settle. You may have a good job, a nice home, and a comfortable routine, but deep inside, you sense that there's more. That's because purpose does not shout. It whispers, it stirs you in moments of silence, it visits you in your quiet frustrations. It tugs at your spirit when your schedule looks full but your soul feels empty. Too many people exchange purpose for a paycheck. They pursue careers that look impressive but leave them feeling hollow. Money can buy comfort, but it can never buy fulfillment. The only thing that can satisfy the hunger in your soul is meaning. Purpose is what wakes you up with passion and keeps you up with conviction. It turns routine into mission, effort into impact, and struggle into sacrifice. When you find your purpose, your life becomes a message. Purpose is not always loud or glamorous. Some people think it has to be a stage, a spotlight, or a platform. But purpose is more than performance. It's service. It's about discovering who you were created to help, and how you were designed to help them. It's not about applause, it's about impact. A mother raising her children with love and intention is walking in purpose. A teacher who ignites curiosity in a young mind is walking in purpose. A janitor who keeps a building clean so others can work safely is walking in purpose. The size of your purpose does not determine its value. What matters is that you're fulfilling the assignment given to you. So how do you discover your purpose? Start by paying attention to what breaks your heart. Often, the thing you were born to fix is the thing that bothers you the most. What injustice makes you angry? What need do you notice that others overlook? What brings you joy and drains your energy at the same time because it means so much to you? Those are clues. Purpose leaves breadcrumbs. Follow them. Listen also to your natural strengths. Purpose is not always something outside of you. It often lives within you. Your gift is tied to your purpose. What do you do easily that others struggle to do? What comes naturally to you? What do people always come to you for? You were born with something unique, and that uniqueness is not an accident. It's a signal. When you align your gift with your heart, you start uncovering your calling, and don't be discouraged if the journey to purpose takes time. It usually does. Purpose is not always revealed in one moment. Sometimes it's revealed in seasons. You may have to go through pain, setbacks, rejection, and redirection before your purpose becomes clear. But even those detours are part of the map. Nothing in your life will be wasted when it's surrendered to purpose. The things that didn't make sense at the time will eventually connect to form a bigger picture. Your scars will speak. Your tears will teach. Your past will prepare you. When you know your purpose, you walk differently. You speak differently. You love more intentionally. You stop reacting to life and begin responding with clarity. You stop drifting and begin driving. You make decisions that honor your destiny, not your distractions. You begin to live with a sense of destiny that no one can take away from you. So never settle for a life without purpose. Don't let culture define your worth or circumstances shrink your vision. You were not born to just exist. You were born to contribute. You are the solution to a problem. You are the answer to a question. You are the fulfillment of a need. Purpose is calling. Don't ignore it. Vision is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Without vision, people lose restraint. Without vision, energy is misdirected, passion fades, and life becomes a string of unconnected events. You can be busy but going nowhere. You can be moving fast but in the wrong direction. It's not enough to be active. You must be accurate, and that kind of accuracy only comes from vision. Vision is the ability to see beyond where you are. It is insight into what could be, what should be, and what must be. It's not based on your present condition, but on your future intention. Vision does not come from looking at your surroundings. It comes from quiet moments of reflection, moments where you ask yourself not, what do I have, but why do I have it, not what can I do, but what should I be doing. You were not designed to stumble through life reacting to circumstances. You were designed to live by intention, to be guided by a picture of the future that inspires discipline in the present. A person with vision is not easily distracted. Vision simplifies life. It tells you what to say yes to and what to say no to. Without it, you'll try to do everything and end up mastering nothing. Without it, every opportunity looks attractive, but not every opportunity is aligned with your assignment. Just because something is good does not mean it's right for you. Vision gives you clarity. It helps you filter out the noise and focus on your unique path. You stop chasing trends and start following truth. You stop imitating others and start becoming yourself. When a person loses vision, their life becomes reactive. They start depending on circumstances to give them direction. They wait for opportunities instead of creating them. They live by chance, not by choice. They settle for survival instead of pressing towards significance. But a life without vision is like a ship without a rudder, vulnerable to every current, every storm, every wind of opinion. A visionless life is a dangerous life, because it's easily hijacked by fear, pressure, or the expectations of others. Vision gives pain a purpose. When you have a clear vision, you'll endure the discomfort that comes with growth. You won't mind the temporary inconvenience of preparation when you know what you're preparing for. Athletes go through brutal training, but they endure it because they see the gold medal. Builders suffer long hours of design and construction, but they do it because they see the final structure in their minds before they even lay the foundation. It is the same with life. When you can see your future, you will endure your process. Vision demands discipline. That's why not everyone pursues it. It requires you to say no to comfort, no to comparison, no to confusion. You can't afford to waste time when you know your time is limited. You stop asking, is this fun, and start asking, is this fruitful? You begin to organize your life around your destination. You get strategic about how you spend your hours, who you spend them with, and what you allow into your mind. Vision makes you a steward of your potential. You are not meant to just float through life. The fact that you are alive in this generation means there is a vision you were born to fulfill. You are not an accident of history, you are an answer to it. But vision is not just about having dreams. It's about downloading purpose into pictures. It's about receiving a clear and compelling image of your future and being so convinced of it that you begin to live like it's already true. You begin to prepare for what hasn't happened yet. You act now in accordance with what's coming. Vision makes the invisible visible and the impossible possible. Your vision may start small. Don't despise that. Every mighty oak began as an acorn. Every masterpiece began as a sketch. Every great leader once had nothing but a burden and a dream. Vision doesn't require resources at the beginning. It just requires belief. When you begin to take steps toward it, the resources will start finding you. People will notice the clarity in your steps. Favor follows focus. One of the reasons people fail to develop vision is because they're too attached to their past. They keep replaying old wounds, old mistakes, old limitations. But vision requires forward thinking. You can't walk into the future while looking backward. Let go of what didn't work, of who left, of what broke. Your past is a classroom, not a prison. Learn from it, but don't live in it. What's ahead of you is greater than what's behind you. You must also be careful not to borrow someone else's vision. Just because it worked for them doesn't mean it's meant for you. You are not called to be a duplicate of anyone else. You are original. Your vision must fit your fingerprint, your personality, your pain, and your potential. Don't waste time chasing the wind. Sit down with yourself and ask the hard questions. What am I here to change? What problem burns in me? What do I see that others don't? That's where your vision lies, and once you see it, write it down, keep it before you. Speak it aloud, visualize it. Plan for it, and more than anything, walk toward it every single day, step by step, decision by decision. Vision does not come to life overnight, but it will come to life if you're willing to commit to it daily. It's not enough to dream it. You must dare to build it. Success is not a secret, and excellence is never accidental. Behind every great life, every remarkable achievement, and every fulfilled purpose is a spirit of diligence. Diligence is more than hard work. It is focused, intentional, disciplined effort, applied consistently over time. Many people have dreams, but very few are willing to do what it takes to make those dreams a reality. Dreams will always remain fantasy without the diligence to build them into form. Too often, people pray for success, but do not prepare for it. They wish for greatness, but they are not willing to train for it. Diligence is the price of excellence. It is what separates the crowd from the cold. You can't casually arrive at greatness. You must pursue it with relentless commitment. If you want to rise, you must be willing to sweat. You cannot shortcut your way into significance. There is no elevator to excellence, only stairs, and each step is built with discipline, focus, and sacrifice. The problem today is not a lack of potential, it is a lack of perseverance. Talent may get you noticed, but only diligence will keep you relevant. Potential without work becomes regret. People often ask for more opportunities, but they haven't mastered what's already in their hands. If you're not diligent with the little, you will never be trusted with much. Excellence starts with what you do daily, not occasionally. You cannot build greatness on convenience. You build it on commitment. Diligence is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's pushing through fatigue, showing up when no one's watching, and finishing what you start. It's the attitude that says, I will not stop until the job is done, and done well. This spirit is rare because it demands personal responsibility. It means no more blaming, no more excuses, and no more waiting for someone else to motivate you. When you have a diligent spirit, you become your own source of discipline. You don't need to be pushed. You are driven by purpose. Some people wait for inspiration to get started, but inspiration follows motion. You don't wait to feel diligent. You choose to be diligent. Excellence is not based on mood. It is based on decision. The farmer doesn't ask if he feels like planting. He sows the seed because the harvest depends on it. If you want results, you must be willing to do the work when it's hard, when it's boring, and when no one claps for you. That's when diligence is proven, when the applause is absent, and yet you keep showing up. There is no greatness without grind. You may have to wake up earlier, study longer, practice more, stretch further. Diligence demands that you get uncomfortable. It asks you to go beyond what is required and do what is excellent. It won't let you settle for average or take shortcuts that weaken the outcome. Diligence is the daily choice to give your best, even when your best feels small. Over time, the small adds up. Little by little becomes legacy, and the difference between someone who arrives and someone who quits is almost always diligence, not talent. In the world we live in, people want things fast. Fast success, fast money, fast results. But excellence does not rush. It builds, it matures, it refines. A tree that grows too quickly often has shallow roots, and when the storm comes, it falls. But diligence grows roots deep into your character. It grounds you so that when pressure comes, and it will, you stand, you don't just succeed, you last, because diligence not only sharpens your skill, it builds your stamina. When you are diligent, doors will open that talent alone cannot unlock. The world may not always reward the most gifted, but it will recognize the most committed. People will trust you, honor you, and follow you not because of how gifted you are, but because of how consistent you are. Reliability is rare, and it's a product of diligence. When others quit, you remain. When others get distracted, you stay the course. That's how you become uncommon. That's how you become excellent, and remember this. Diligence is not just about working hard, it's about working wisely. It's about being intentional with your energy, your time, and your focus. It's not just about being busy, it's about being effective. Many people wear exhaustion as a badge of honor, but if your effort is not aligned with your assignment, then it's just wasted strength. Diligence focuses your effort on what matters most. It teaches you to prioritize, to plan, to stay organized, and to protect your productivity from everything that tries to steal it. There's no greatness without daily grind. You can't pray your way past preparation. You can't fast your way out of focus. You must do the work. You must study, practice, build, refine, and repeat, again and again, not because someone is watching, but because excellence is who you are. Diligence is not just what you do, it becomes part of your identity. You become the kind of person who finishes what you start, who honors their word, who pays attention to details, and who refuses to leave anything half done. Diligence is a seed that produces results in every area of life. In your relationships, your calling, your leadership, your finances. Wherever you apply it, growth will follow. And though it may not always be noticed at first, in time it will always be rewarded. There is a price to excellence, and part of that price is protecting your standards. In a world that constantly demands you to adjust, to compromise, to go with the flow, you must have the inner strength to stand firm. It's not enough to be gifted. It's not enough to be driven. If your character is weak, your gift will self-destruct. If your values are for sale, your success won't last. There comes a point when you must draw a line and say, this is who I am, and this is who I refuse to become. Standards are not rules given by others. They are the internal boundaries you set for yourself. They are the measure of what you will and will not tolerate in your life, your habits, your relationships, and your work. Your standards speak for you before you open your mouth. They show up in how you dress, how you speak, how you treat people, how you handle pressure. Excellence is not an act, it is a lifestyle. And that lifestyle is built on the quiet decisions you make when no one is watching. The danger in today's culture is the celebration of compromise. You are told to do whatever works, to bend your values for a quick win, to play the game, to take the easy road. But what you compromise to get, you will eventually lose. You cannot build a lasting life on shifting sand. If your standards move with your emotions or your circumstances, you'll never find stability. A person without standards will accept anything, tolerate anything, and become anything. But you were not created to blend in. You were created to be set apart. Your values are what anchor you. They give you strength in moments of temptation. They remind you that not every opportunity is a blessing. Some doors lead to destruction dressed as success. Some relationships come to derail your direction. If you don't know what you stand for, someone else will decide it for you. And once you trade your values for approval, it becomes harder and harder to get them back. Integrity may cost you something up front, but it saves you from paying much more later. What looks like a loss in the moment will often be your gain in the long run. Guarding your standards is not about arrogance, it's about alignment. You are aligning your actions with your assignment. You are protecting your purpose from anything that tries to dilute it. That means you don't just allow anyone into your inner circle. Not everyone deserves access to your vision. Some people will drain you, distract you, or discourage you. Excellence requires you to be selective. You don't elevate by trying to please everyone. You elevate by being true to who you are. And let's be honest, it's not always easy to hold to your standards. There will be pressure. There will be moments when it seems easier to go along with the crowd, to cut corners, to stay silent. But the reward of standing your ground is peace, peace of mind, peace of heart. The confidence of knowing you didn't betray your own soul. The truth is, people may forget your accomplishments, but they will remember your character. They may not always agree with your values, but they will respect you for having them. Sometimes the enemy of your values is not external, but internal. It's your need for validation, your desire to be liked, your fear of rejection. But when you let those emotions make your decisions, you become a slave to opinions. Excellence requires emotional maturity. You must rise above your feelings and lead yourself. Not everything that feels good is right, and not everything that's hard is wrong. Discipline often feels uncomfortable in the moment, but it produces freedom. And guarding your standards is a form of discipline. You must also guard the standards you set for how you treat others. Excellence is not just about what you produce, it's about how you live. You can be brilliant but bitter, talented but toxic. Don't allow success to harden your heart. Stay kind, stay honorable, stay generous. The way you treat people on your way up will determine what kind of legacy you leave behind. Your values should not only protect your progress, they should reflect your principles. Your words matter, your choices matter, the way you lead, the way you love, the way you show up. All of it speaks, so don't let pressure turn you into someone you're not. Don't let success make you forget who you were before the applause. And don't let setbacks convince you to lower your standards just to feel better temporarily. Your future depends on what you protect in the present. There will be moments when people laugh at your standards, call them extreme, or try to make you feel small for standing firm. But remember, only those who are insecure in their own values mock those who walk in theirs. You're not here to impress, you're here to impact, and true impact begins with being rooted. A tree with deep roots does not fall easily. A person with deep values cannot be shaken by trends, opinions, or criticism. The higher your calling, the deeper your standards must be. The more influence you carry, the more integrity you need. Greatness is not just about what you do, it's about who you become. And who you become is determined by what you protect. So hold the line, guard your values, not out of fear, but out of honor, for your future, your purpose, and your name. In a world that thrives on comparison, where people measure their worth by numbers, applause, and platforms, the pressure to compete has become normal. But competition is not the path to excellence. In fact, it's often a distraction from your true calling. You were not created to compete with others. You were created to complete your assignment, and that assignment is unique. There is no competition in purpose because purpose is personal. When you understand this, you stop striving to outrun others and start striving to fulfill what only you were born to do. The need to compete is rooted in insecurity. When you are not clear on who you are, you will always be threatened by who others are. You will see someone else's success as your failure, their promotion as your delay, their influence as your weakness. But none of those things are true. Another person's light does not diminish yours. There is enough room at the table for all who are faithful to what they've been given. You don't lose by celebrating someone else. In fact, celebration strengthens your own confidence when it comes from a secure heart. You must make peace with this. You are not called to everyone, and you are not meant to do everything. You don't have to be the loudest voice, the most followed name, or the busiest person to be effective. Effectiveness is not found in competing with others, but in completing what's yours. That means learning how to focus. Focusing on your gifts, your timing, your season, your values. Focusing on doing the work, without constantly looking to the side to see who's ahead. Because the moment you take your eyes off your mission to measure your pace against someone else's, you've already lost time. The world will always try to pull you into the game. It will try to convince you that you need to prove yourself, market yourself, outperform others to be significant. But performance is not your identity. You don't have to hustle to be valuable. You were valuable before you ever achieved a single thing. Excellence doesn't come from trying to be better than others. It comes from becoming the best version of yourself. That's the real race, not against others, but against your own potential. Comparison is the thief of joy, but it's also the enemy of purpose. When you compare, you forget your difference. You forget the battles you've had to fight to stand where you stand. You forget the tears, the nights, the work that no one saw, and you overlook the beauty of your journey because it doesn't look like theirs. But you must remind yourself daily, what they carry is for them, what you carry is for you. And both are needed. We were never designed to compete like rivals, but to complement like parts of a body. One vision, different functions, collective impact. It takes humility and maturity to stop competing. It takes confidence to say, I don't need to outshine. I need to align. When you align with your purpose, peace comes, clarity comes, joy returns, because you're no longer living to impress. You're living to fulfill. You are no longer reactive to others. You are proactive with your own direction. You don't waste time looking at someone else's path because you are fully engaged in your own. There is also something powerful that happens when you move from competition to contribution. You no longer see people as threats. You see them as partners. You realize that someone else's strength may be the answer to your weakness, and your strength may be the solution to theirs. And instead of withholding, you begin to share. You give, you collaborate, you mentor, you learn. That's when your influence deepens, not because you climbed higher, but because you chose to lift others as you rose. When you refuse to compete, you free yourself from the anxiety that comes with always trying to keep up. You are no longer controlled by how well others are doing or how far ahead they seem. You stay grounded, you stay consistent, you stay faithful to your own growth. That is the path of the wise, not the hurried path of ambition, but the focused path of purpose. It may look slower at first, but it's sustainable, and in the end it produces fruit that lasts. Even in moments when others try to provoke you into competition, stay rooted. Let them run their race. Bless them, but don't follow them. Stay committed to what's in your hands. You don't need to mimic anyone to succeed. You just need to be authentic. That authenticity will attract what belongs to you. You won't have to force doors open. You won't have to manipulate outcomes. Purpose always makes a way for the person who stays true to it. It is a rare kind of excellence that refuses to compete. It is a quiet confidence that says, I know who I am, I know why I'm here, and I won't waste my energy chasing what was never mine to begin with. That kind of clarity becomes unshakable, because it's not built on comparison, it's built on conviction. And conviction will carry you further than competition ever could. There comes a time in life when you must decide what truly matters, not just in this moment, but long after this moment has passed. You have to ask yourself, what will outlive me? That's the difference between applause and legacy. Applause is fleeting, it feels good but it fades. Legacy is lasting. It speaks when you are gone. The noise of recognition is temporary, but the impact of purpose is eternal. Living for applause makes you visible. Living for legacy makes you valuable. You must choose which one you are chasing. Many people confuse being known with being significant. They run after likes, views, titles, and stages. But influence built on noise is fragile. The world is quick to cheer, and just as quick to forget. What they celebrated yesterday, they can cancel tomorrow. If you build your life on the need for applause, you'll always be a slave to opinion. But when you live for legacy, you anchor your life in meaning, not momentum. You no longer live to be seen, you live to make a difference, and that difference is not always loud. It's often quiet, consistent, and deeply rooted. Legacy is not about being remembered for being great. It's about being remembered for doing good. It's not about how high you climbed, but how many lives you lifted. It's about the seeds you planted that became trees of shelter for generations you'll never meet. Legacy doesn't happen by accident. It's a result of intentional living, choosing to sow into people, not just profits, into purpose, not just platforms. Applause asks, what can I get now? Legacy asks, what am I leaving behind? There will always be the temptation to chase attention. It's natural to want recognition for your effort, but be careful. If you begin to live for approval, your choices become distorted. You start performing instead of producing. You begin to edit your truth to fit the crowd. You trade authenticity for applause, and in doing so you slowly lose yourself. Your worth is not tied to how loud people clap when you walk in a room. It's tied to how well you fulfilled what you were placed on this earth to do. A legacy-driven life thinks beyond self. It's not about building a name. It's about building people. It's about raising others up, even if they surpass you. That kind of mindset requires humility. It means you are not obsessed with being the center, but with being effective. When you shift your focus from visibility to responsibility, you start walking in a deeper level of impact. And the truth is, the most powerful people aren't always the most famous. They are the ones who pour into others, who live with vision, who model consistency and honor even when no one is watching. Living for legacy also means playing the long game. You are not moved by quick results or instant success. You are building with endurance, you're not sprinting. You're planting, and planting requires patience. It means sometimes you'll labor and not see fruit immediately. Sometimes you'll do the right thing and it won't be noticed. But when you're legacy-minded, you keep going because you understand that real fruit takes time. Legacy is not a microwave outcome. It's a generational investment. And let's be clear, legacy is not limited to people with platforms or influence. Legacy is built in everyday decisions, how you treat your family, how you handle conflict, how you speak when others aren't around, how you serve when no one says thank you. These are the things that echo long after your name is spoken. You don't have to be a celebrity to leave a mark. You just have to be consistent, intentional, and faithful with what's in your hands. Some of the greatest legacies are written in silence, through the quiet acts of love, honor, and sacrifice. One day, your name will be spoken by people who never met you. The question is, what will they say? What stories will be told about you? Not the ones crafted on a stage, but the ones lived behind the scenes. What kind of spirit will they say you carried? Will they say you were generous or just gifted? Kind or just clever, purposeful or just popular? What you do today is writing that story. Every decision is a sentence. Every action is a paragraph, and over time, your legacy becomes the book others will read. When you live for applause, you live moment to moment. When you live for legacy, you live generation to generation. You understand that your choices today are creating ripple effects you may never see, but they matter. Your discipline is not just for you, it's breaking cycles. Your vision is not just about you, it's creating paths. Your integrity, your courage, your faithfulness, they are building something bigger than your own life, and that is what greatness truly looks like. You have one life, make it count, make it last. Don't spend it chasing applause that dies in the air. Build something that will stand, something that speaks when you're no longer here to explain it. Something that reflects who you really were, not just what you did. Let your life be more than a performance. Let it be a pattern. A model, a light. Let it be a legacy, so now the choice is yours. You can settle for comfort, convenience, and applause, or you can rise into the calling of excellence, but you cannot do both. Excellence will demand more from you. It will call you to live with clarity, discipline, integrity, and intention. It will separate you from the crowd, not because you are better, but because you are focused. You were not born to blend in, to copy others, or to chase things that don't last. You were born with purpose. You carry a solution the world needs, but you'll only release it if you refuse to compromise, refuse to compete, refuse to conform, and refuse to quit. Guard your standards. Own your identity. Commit to your assignment, and don't just aim to succeed. Aim to leave something that speaks long after you're gone. Because in the end, it's not what you did that will matter most. It's who you became, it's the lives you touched, it's the legacy you built. So stand tall, live full, die empty, and whatever you do, don't settle for less, strive for excellence.